Welcome to the Music Boost Podcast, your one-stop resource for success in the music industry, with your hosts, John Seymour and Gene Foley. And now, here's John and Gene.
Hey, Gene.
Yes, John?
What's the difference between a banjo and an onion?
I don't know.
Nobody cries when you chop up a banjo.
Oh, boy.
All right, Gene, we're back here for another episode of the Music Boost. How are you, buddy?
Good, John. Great to be here. Hope you're well and excited for another episode.
As always, as always. So today, I got a topic that is kind of controversial. Not really. Today's topic is really probably about as basic as we can get, but it's also probably the most important topic that we could discuss, because without a song, you really have nothing, right?
That's really the whole foundation of the whole industry. You know, people got all the smoke and mirrors and buzz and gimmicks. At the end of the day, if you don't have a great song, you're not going to be around very long in this business.
Exactly. If you listen to our first episode on the way out, you heard Domingo say our motto here, which is,
It's all bullshit unless you have a song.
and that's actually derived from a T-shirt. I used to do a lot of work at a place called Longview Farms, which was just a legendary, amazing studio up in Massachusetts that was located on a farm. There were horses running around. You would basically camp out there. It was a residential studio. You'd spend a week or 2 weeks there to make a record. They'd cook you food to order. You'd take breaks in front of a nice fireplace. It was a really awesome atmosphere, great place to create. But that's one of the things I remember most was that T-shirt. It was the simplest saying, all the rest is bullshit unless you have a song.
That no truer words have been spoken for this industry.
Yep, that's it. And that's what this episode is about. We're not here to tell you how to write songs. We're just here to tell you that forget about all the other stuff, the periphery, the outfits, the website, the bells and whistles. We're talking about moving your way up the ladder, and your songs are step one. Without a great song or a great bunch of songs, you're not going to get very far up that ladder.
Yeah, that's where a lot of artists, you know, they have to always remember that this is a business. And if they want commercial success, if they want to make a good living, if they want to be embraced by labels and managers, publishers, the press, radio, really the entire media, you have to write, arrange, and record great songs before you can even market them. They have to be great to get to that next level. And it's not an area that should be rushed.
Absolutely. I mean, I see so many people, they get hung up on all the minutia. Right now, there's a lot of chatter going on around Billie Eilish. You know, she just won all these Grammys, and everybody's talking about, oh, she recorded it in a bedroom and blah, blah, blah. But people forget, at the root of this, she's got great songs, right? So those songs could probably have been recorded in a parking lot, and they'd still be hits because they're great songs. You know, you go back to the Beatles back in the day, the technology that they had available to them in the late 60s, then, you know, the Beatles, Jimi Hendrix, these people had 4 tracks to record on. They'd fill up those 4 tracks, then they'd have to bounce that down onto another tape machine. They would have to jump through a lot of hoops just to get their great song on tape. Nowadays, I get projects from artists, and my mind is blown. You know, sometimes they send over 100 tracks, and there's so much attention to detail in every track, but it's like that old Wendy's commercial. Where's the beef? Where's the song?
You know, a great song with a great artist, you could literally walk onto a stage, just an acoustic guitar or a piano, you know, sit on a bar stool, you got the one light bulb over your head, and just play that song without the smoke, the mirrors, 50 tracks, whatever. If that's a hit song, you're still going to be able to move people and entertain people.
1,000%. And, you know, usually if it's not going to work with just an acoustic guitar and a vocal or a piano and vocal, it's probably not going to work just because you want to throw a horn section on or background vocals or all the pots and pans in the world. You know, we're talking about the core here, the foundation. And if the foundation isn't strong, what happens? The house falls, right?
And if you do have great songs, there's a lot of options besides just the obvious artist career, which everyone knows. That's why, most people are here. But, you could shop songs to other artists. You could write for TV and film and video games and ad agency stuff. You can get in business with a music publisher, and no one's worried when you're a great songwriter. They're not going to ask the same things of you that they will of an artist. No one's worried about your age, your location, how many fans you have, what's your buzz, what's your social media numbers, how many people come to your shows. They don't care. You could be 70 years old in some garage somewhere. If you're writing hit songs and you have someone that can market them for you, they're going to be interested. And I think that's fantastic because, long after the artist career part ends for somebody, they could still make a really good living just writing songs for other projects and other people.
Yep. I mean, how many times have you heard a song for the first time by maybe a new artist only to realize that that song was written like 50 years ago by Bob Dylan or 30 years ago by Dolly Parton? It happens all the time.
Yeah. I mean, most of the songwriters, if not all, I would probably say 99% of the songwriters and artists that I work with, their goal is to make a living from this, and they want commercial songs. They want to be embraced by the industry and by the media and fans, and they want to make money. And that's great, and that's what we work towards. And every now and then, I will meet an artist or just a songwriter, someone who's not looking to be a performing artist. And, they'll want their 7 and 8 minute songs, and there's poor arrangements. There's no memorable melody or chorus. It's almost like poetry, with some music behind it. No, that's fine. They have their little fan base. They play live. They do their thing. That's great. Artistically, I totally respect that. But they can't expect to make millions of dollars in most cases unless they're 1 in 10 million that's going to really make a living. So when people ask me about that, I say, well, I hope they like their day job because, writing, a 10-minute opus on, with no discernible melody or anything, chorus, poor arrangement, you might have a few hardcore fans, but that's not going to make you $1 million most likely.
I think there's a place for everything. And, if you're a pop artist, there's a strict formula that you basically need to stick to in order to fit into that world. I think you've actually outlined that formula in your book, Gene. What was the name of that book?
Artist Development, a distinctive guide to the music industry's lost art.
Fantastic book. If you guys don't have it yet, you should definitely check that out. In the book, Gene really goes through the formula that has worked for many decades for what made something radio worthy. But, not everything has to be a pop song, and music is art. So a great song can be 7 minutes long. I think Stairway to Heaven and Bohemian Rhapsody proved that. But if you want your best shot to appeal to the masses and make it easy for someone to spin your record on the radio, then these are some of the things you need to think about.
Yeah, 4 minutes, you're pushing your luck.
Exactly. 3:45.
Yeah. It's if anyone here is not familiar with the song "The Entertainer" by Billy Joel, go find that song online and listen to it or buy it on iTunes or something. The lyrics to that song are just
Kinda
amazing.
Sums it all up.
Yeah, it really does, about just the pressure of an artist to succeed and perform and how quickly the industry forgets about you if you don't keep the hits flowing. It really is. Do yourself a favor, listen to the song, The Entertainer, Billy Joel. Great song.
So I don't want to discourage any of our listeners from, following your heart. If you want to make a pop song, make a pop song. If you want to make a 7-minute song about some obscure subject, go for it. It's art. It's your thing. You do you. Just make it great. That's what it's all about. Songs have to be great. Songs have to tell a story. You've got to find a way to connect with the listener and make the listener feel something. And if you can do that, you're halfway there.
Yep. I think it's a lot of what the person's goals are. People who are just really, really into the art side of it, and they don't care if an A&R person likes it or a radio plays it or whatever, then that's fine. Like John said, do whatever you want. Do a 20-minute song if that makes you happy artistically. But most people come to me and they're like, hey, I have this song. I want to make money from it. What do I do? So that's the conversation I'm in much more often, where people want commercial success. They want to play that chess match and win over the industry and the media, and that's fine. That's fine too. But I do feel art and commercialism can successfully coexist if you kind of know how to kind of play that little right down the line for that. And even song arrangement is so important. And it's another thing where industry people are quick to reject artists who submit, but no one tells them why. And most people who really want to play ball, they're willing to learn about how do you want it arranged? How do you want something arranged? What should we do? but it's these unwritten rules that are snags for a lot of artists and songwriters, where I always say, whatever your style is, if it's pop, rock, R&B, rap, country, jazz, whatever you do, blues, look at the other hit songs in your genre and really take those songs apart. Find the lyrics online, listen to the song, look at the arrangement, look at that with the intro and the verses and the chorus and the bridge, and just see what's popular at that point with labels and press and radio in your style. And then see if you could use that as some kind of a template to help you, structure your songs in a way that if you are trying to win over industry people or media or fans, at least you'll have some kind of blueprint, because aside from my book, there's not too many places out there that are going to tell you, what has to be done. And, you could do a lot of that research right on your own.
Absolutely. I think in any business, it's wise to know your competition, know what you're up against, study the landscape, and see how it is that you fit into that. That doesn't mean you need to copy anyone else's formula for success, but just know where you fit into that scene.
And now it's time for another edition of the
Reverb Nation Artist Spotlight.
So we figured since this episode is primarily about songs, that we would have an artist that we reviewed in the Reverb Nation pool who just had probably the most smash hit song that we heard out of almost 3,000 submissions. And this is an artist by the name of Leon and the Peoples. They're from New York City. Leon is the band leader and the man that you're about to hear in this interview, and he's an interesting cat. He's also a pretty well-known actor, as it turns out. So, very talented in both music and acting. And here we go. Here's Leon from Leon and the Peoples. So Leon, tell us a little bit about your music, your band. How long has your band been together? How long have you been going at this?
So my band, Leon and the Peoples, I probably had my band or some form of my band for our first record was 07. So
okay, so you've been at it a minute.
Yeah. And then various different lineups. Some people have been with me the entire time, I'm happy to say.
Mm-hmm.
But originally what happened with me is that I had this band called the Peoples. And I had to pull a David Ruffin on them. And I call him Leon and the Peoples because we just got better gigs that way because people knew who I was, but they didn't know who the Peoples were.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we made our first record, which is called The Road Less Traveled. I think it was, I picked that title because I think many times people are music artists and sometimes they become actors. And I was a well-known actor who started putting out my music.
Ah, okay.
So it kind of was The Road Less Traveled.
Interesting.
And so our first record, people really seem to love. We got a couple of awards, best international artist, and from the IRA Awards, International Reggae World Music Awards, and best international artist from the Joe Higgs Awards. So it's people seem to like it, and I love the effort, and more importantly, they will come into our shows because we're primarily a live band.
Mm-hmm.
And then our recent record was the first record on our record label, Spectrum Music label, and Love is a Beautiful Thing. And it's about all aspects of love. We play a mixture between reggae, soul, and probably pop.
Mm-hmm.
And we move butts. And we're primarily a live band, and so most of the songs that you hear on our record, we've performed live before we ever recorded them because we wanted to see how people responded to them.
Yeah, I noticed on your YouTube channel, I think all of your videos are just live performances. Is that right?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. I mean, I think we have The Love is a Beautiful Thing and a few other ones. We have the closing song on the cover soundtrack. So I think we have that video, and we were lucky enough to place our music in some movies.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think sometimes you'll see some videos connected with that.
Gotcha.
We actually have a production schedule. We're going to be shooting about 3 videos very soon. It's just that I've been busy on my end. I have a production company here, which is where I'm actually talking to you from.
Okay.
And then I'm about to go on a tour with a play. an
Gotcha.
actor of a play, and also I am on doing my TV shows and stuff like that. Starting a new show called City on the Hill with Kevin Bacon and a few other people.
Oh, very nice. So you're a busy man.
Yeah, I'm a very busy guy, but music is something that is primary to me, and I can't wait for us to tour this summer.
Yeah. One of the things that Gene and I talk about on the show, it seems to be something that's becoming more and more a thing for independent artists is sync licensing. With all of this, there's so much content being created now between Netflix and Amazon Prime and whatnot. Have you been able to get any traction with that, being that you're kind of in both industries? I would think that would maybe lend itself for you to be able to get your music into films or movies.
Yeah, like I said, we have been lucky even before like this big boom. I already have some songs on soundtracks and in movies.
Mm-hmm.
But we really want to lean towards it even more so because this particular album we have, when people listen to it, they go, wow, this should be in a movie.
Yeah.
This Love is a Beautiful Thing should be the title track.
Yeah.
Sometimes I Wish I Was Single sounds like a romantic comedy. It's like.
Well, yeah, I got to tell you that one. That's why we're talking to you today. That song just jumped out at me. I said, man, why haven't I heard this song on the radio? I think that is a smash hit of the summer.
Listen, everyone says it to me. Even the guy who created MTV says, listen, I don't know the music business today, but when I was in the music business, this song is a smash.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
Well, hopefully, talking to fellas like you and even more, so we can make it happen.
yeah. Maybe Gene can get that one in a film because I could see that one.
The lyrics to that song. Anyone who's been in a relationship, if that song doesn't hit you over the head, then you need help.
Especially that line about the toilet seat.
But the funny thing about that is, it was a concept song when I was writing it. Because I said like everyone wishes that they were single. And no, when I say that, I don't mean that you don't, no matter how great of a relationship you're in, at some point, whether it's just an hour out of the day, one day out of the year, or whatever, you wish you were single. And what it means is that to be free of any responsibilities, whether it be your husband, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your grandma, your mother-in-law, your kids. It's like, why can't I? It's like, I'll give you an example, guys. I have a lot of connections. So I call you guys up and say, guess what? I got 2 extra seats to the NBA All-Star game. Okay? You guys want to come? You go tell your significant other, you go, oh, no. That's my mom's birthday. We doing this. That's when you wish you were single. Okay? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Right? And it's like, but really, if you listen to the song, it's really a love song disguised as a bad boy song. Because it's about going back to the days when you first met. Because everybody knows those were the best days.
Oh, yeah.
Every time you saw your significant other, they look great. You knew you were going to get some. You were just like, those are the great days, the days where you fell in love and you were feeling that way. And so it's like, that's what the song is really about. So it has this double meaning. It gets you in with Sometimes I Wish I Was Single, and then you leave there going, really appreciating the person you're with.
I think any song that you can get a majority of people to identify with, that really resonates with so many people. Because who hasn't had that moment where you just, exactly that example, where you want to do something and you really can't, and you're like, oh, this is 3 years ago when I was single, I could have done that. I had no one to answer to then,
Exactly. Just that feeling of just being free.
Yeah, and that could apply to men, women, anyone who's been in a relationship. Everyone thinks that once in a while.
Exactly. That's exactly what I thought of when I was writing the song. A concept. So, what is it that everyone would agree with or wish at some point? Everybody wishes they were single, even if it's just for like 10 minutes when they were talking to somebody cute. Whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? It's like at some point you just wish.
The lyrics to that song are just true brilliance. I think you have so much potential with that. You're sitting on a real gold mine there.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Leon, do you talk much about your acting career, or do you try to keep those two things kind of separate?
No. They're all part of who I am. I mean, without a doubt. I mean, I would not be people wouldn't come to my shows if they didn't know of me as an actor. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's all part of it. And for promoters who book us, it's a major plus because I can go on any morning talk show, any radio interview, things that most artists can't get you.
Right. That's right.
Anytime we appear in their town. So, I definitely use it to my advantage. I don't want to shy away from it.
Now, I noticed, obviously, in my research to prepare for here, I knew all the music, but I dug a little deeper, and you have an incredible resume for, acting, movies, TV shows. Really A-list stuff. Tell us a little bit how you juggle both of those things, because either one would be impressive. Your music is great. Now the acting. How the heck do you fit it all into 24 hours?
It's rough sometimes.
I bet.
Yeah, I think sometimes my biggest job is getting sleep.
Yeah.
So, it's really has been tough. To be perfectly honest with you, I need help.
Yeah.
And it's really odd because I think this last year with my band has probably been my best year with the band. And it's been our first year without any sort of management.
Oh.
A situation happened with the management and the booking agent, and I found myself with neither. And I was in the middle of a TV project, so I had to wind up managing the band myself. And we wound up playing all over the place and doing great and everything else. I can't continue that. I'm going to need help on that end.
Yep.
But it also allowed me to learn a lot about the process.
Right.
Because before I'd always be like, well, how come this is not happening? How come we're not getting this? How come I'm doing this? And now I know because I've actually had to do it.
Right. Sometimes you sort of wear a lot of hats until you could find someone else to take over one of them.
Exactly. But the good thing about it now is that whoever I get to take over one of the hats, I know how the hat's supposed to fit and look.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that before.
Right. Oh, that's fantastic. What would you say, like a year from now, like what would you hope to achieve in the next 12 months, 18 months? Like what's some of the music-related goals? Music-related
goal is to tour and to play my music to everybody, especially here in the United States and across abroad. We get a lot of requests from Great Britain and Australia because of the type of music we play.
Yeah.
And I would love to tour. I would love to get out there and really, play the music. Because when I write music, it's to play it. It's not just to record it. I want to play it. I love it. And when you see our band, you're going to realize why people love us when they see us, because we have so much fun on stage. The way we interact with one another, it's like people go like this. Wow. Someone just said the other day we had a show and they were like, God, we love the way you guys are just, we have fun because we have fun just watching you guys have fun.
Right.
And I think that's really important. And I think one of the things that's been a great advantage for me coming from one genre to the next is that I've got to watch a lot of music. I've got to MC a lot of big festivals and everything else. And I know what I like to see when I watch an artist.
Right.
And what I always want is I want an artist to give me something to watch. There's so many artists that if you put your head down and was on your phone, it's no different. And when you look up, nothing else happened. It's like a soap opera. You better watch soap opera for 4 months and you didn't miss anything.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's like, and when I think it's important if you're doing a show, give them something to watch.
No doubt. And you're obviously used to giving people something to watch. Leon, we want to thank you for joining us here today on the Music Boost. For our listeners, if you'd like to learn more about Leon, hear some of his music, please go to our website, themusicboost.com. And in the show notes, you'll see lots of links back to all Leon's stuff. Leon, we'll be keeping an eye out for you, and I want to thank you again.
All right, great. Thank you.
All right, Leon. Thanks, bud.
Thanks for tuning in to the Music Boost Podcast. Please visit us at themusicboost.com for additional resources, show notes, contact info, and other features. Until next time, just remember, it's all bullshit unless you have a song.